everybody, welcome to our 22nd Excel tutorial. If you are new here, this is Armstrong Computers channel. All we do, we teach you everything regarding to technology so far as softwares are concerned, Microsoft Excel, Word, HTML, and so on and so forth. But we begin a couple of tutorials regarding to using Excel. And if you are new here, what we did here, I'll be leaving a link here where you can just go and take a recap of what we did here, and then you join us. Okay, so that is just by the way. Let's move on to today's segment. Today's segment, I'd like us to look at macro. We want to talk about macro. What is a macro? Macro is a recording of keystrokes. These keystrokes are labels and values. Now, one thing about macro itself is all about you recording a keystroke. These keystrokes are the labels and values you input in Excel. Remember, labels and value are data type in Excel, okay, which this data type are being contained in the cell. Okay, they are not placed on the cell, they are contained in the cell. So before you create a macro, there are some things you need to consider. But before then, let me show you something. Now, creating a macro. Before you can create a macro, as I just said, macro is a recording of keystrokes. Showing you something I just said simply means that before you can create a macro, first you need to turn on the macro recorder. Okay, so when you turn on the macro recorder, then you can just record your macro. So without wasting my time, let's look at recording a macro. So as I just said, I'll be leaving a link here where you can go back and take a recap of what we learned here. So I will then open a new okay, let me create a new workbook. New, nicely. So I have a new workbook here. So to then record a macro, to record a macro, first what you need to do is that you need to just click on the view tab. When you click on the view tab, look through the view ribbon under the macros logical group, click on the tasked arrow beside the macro. You see where we have record macro. So when you click on the record macro, you need to give a name to the macro that you are recording. So the name I would like to give to the macro that I'm recording is, let's say, Armstrong. So Armstrong. So you can also create a keyboard shortcut to stop your recording if you want to, but I'll leave it like that and then just give a name to macro. Maybe you are using a text string name. Let's say you are using Prince, like this, Prince Costi. Okay, now using this, because you've put a space in between the text string as a Prince Costi, macro is not going to accept this. When I click on OK, see what will happen. You see, it will not accept it. So to do this, mine is to join it together like this. Like when I join it together and click on OK, still it will not, because I brought what Costi here. Okay, so I need to either bring hyphen, underscore, or anyhow. When I bring underscore, for instance, and I click on OK, it will then accept it. Okay, so when you watch, my macro is on, and you see when you look to the tax bar like this, you can see where we have record ready, and then you see a box there. They said a macro is currently recording. You can see there. Or you can, for you to see whether the macro is recorded, you can go back and click on the macros tab, and you see that we have stop recording, meaning the macro is recording. You can stop it. You can also use Visual Studio to record a macro here. So now, as I just said, macro is the recording of keystrokes. Let us look at we're recording these keystrokes. So let's enter some series of data, some labels, so that we see how we can then play back these keystrokes. So cell A1, okay. So now I just entered some couple of data. It's okay for me. So let's go ahead to do some couple of format changes. So I'll select a cell range from cell A1 to E1. Okay, so and then I'll then look through I'll click on the home tab, look through the home ribbon. Okay, under the font logical group, and I'll click on bold, then italics. I'll put my whole text in italic. Okay, nice. After that, I like to click on merge and center also as well. So this is my merge and center. So you look through the home ribbon, under the alignment logical group, click on merge and center, and it to be centered. Again, the way forward, I like you to just go ahead, change the font size from okay, 10 to, sorry, from 14 to 15. So click here. There's no, it's up to 16, so you can click here, backspace what is there, and type 15 and press enter. So the font increase a little bit, and select a font known as Times New Roman. If your font is not Times New Roman as is selected, look through the home ribbon under the font logical group, click on the tasket arrow beside the font and select Times New Roman, and then it will be there nicely. So TIM, and it will just pop up, press enter, and that is just done. And again, if you are done, what I like you to do, select any cell of your choice. Done. So you've entered your labels, and your labels more or less, labels and values mixed together. So the next thing we'll be looking at is playing back a macro. Now it's just like way back our Walkman, where we're using Walkman, we turn on the recorder tab and it will start recording. That is how it is here. So as we have turned on the macro, we then enter some series of keystrokes. So the keystrokes, which is our labels and values, we need to play it back. But before then, we need to stop the macro before we can play back the macro. So let's look at that. So as I'm here now, you can see when I click on view and then go to macros, you can see that still my macro is recorded, because I need to click on, when I click on stop recording, we need to stop recording. So to play back a macro, as I just said, we need to stop recording. So we just look through the, click on the view tab, look through the view ribbon, under the macros logical group, click on the tasket arrow beside the macro and click on stop recording. Or you can also decide to come to this side where we have the macro and click on stop, the button here, the stop recording button, and to stop any which one you use. So I prefer using this or this. Let me use this one. So stop recording. So macro has stopped. So how will I know the macro has stopped? When I bring the mouse pointer to this very side and click on the tasket, so that we have record macro, simply means that my macro has stopped. So now to play back the macro, what I would like to do is just simple. I'll just go back and click on new here, the sheet tab with a new sheet, tab here, and I have a new sheet. Let's wait for it. Sheet tab, and I have a new sheet. So as I have a new sheet now, to play back my macro, what I need to do is then look through the view ribbon under the macros logical group, click on the tasket arrow below macros, and I'll click on view macro. Then you can see the name I give to the macro when we're recording is what, Prince cost underscore T, as you can see there. Then I'll go ahead and click on run, and automatically it will play back the action that the labels and values are entered in. So how do you call it? Sheet 1 in what, sheet 2. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Catch you in the next tutorial. Try to leave a comment and let me see whatever we are doing here is helping you out there. See you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.